I did not think it was possible for the Democrats to even get worse messaging than when they attacked the cuts at USAID on the transgender operas in other countries. But now they want to attack Elon while they drive his Teslas. One of the things Elon has cut is the subsidy to pay to buy Teslas. He's hurt his own business to help the country. He has actually created things. Every other leader in every other country would love to have Elon in their country helping them build missiles, being able to go up to space and come back, being electric cars. I mean, this is amazing what he is doing. Instead of attacking Elon, they should join with him. If they ever want to get back into the majority, they should join him instead of attacking him. Before Elon Musk, we did not build a rocket engine in America. He went out and did it himself so we could go. We have astronauts stuck in space. We need Elon to go get them. We have a disaster in America. We need satellites. Starlink that Elon has created. Elon creates something and helps the government in that process. He makes America stronger. And now they want to attack him because he's actually, who is he looking out for? The hardworking taxpayer. That should be their job as elected official, and they won't do it, and he's volunteering to do it. He should be given a medal.
Another day, another update. So, Democrats, I know I've been talking about Democrats a lot on this channel. I know. Don't worry, I'm gonna start getting on conservatives and Republicans in a little bit today because they did something, with the Epstein files that I ain't like it. I ain't like it, bro. I ain't like what they did with the Epstein files, bro. I think they misled a lot of people, but we got a lot to talk about. So I want to focus on this real quick. So Newsom, right, and you saw from the intro, Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House of the Republican Party, he said that he couldn't believe the Democrats' messaging could be any worse. And I think it just got worse. You're failing. Newsom mocked after announcing podcast plans. Imagine that. Gavin Newsom, who California is up in fire, right? People attacking him since Mel Gibson, celebrities torching him over the fact that he was ill-prepared or he did not lead the Democratic Party in California, which is the majority, did not lead effectively, did not govern effectively to make sure that things were in proper order to be able to adapt to when a wildfire happens. He wants to start a podcast now. Yeah, okay, this didn't go well. Democrat California Governor Gavin Newsom was routinely mocked on Wednesday after he announced plans for a podcast while his state struggles with crime, homelessness, and more. I'm launching a new podcast. We need to change the conversation. I'm talking directly with people I disagree with, people I look up to, you, the listeners. Newsom captioned on a video posted on X. Newsom, you don't need to start your own podcast. You have enough notoriety, national recognition that you can literally go on Joe Rogan if you want. I honestly believe that. If you wanted to, you would, right? As my Gen Z TikTokers will say. So this is him. It has some background music, so hopefully I don't get copyrighted, but let's hear a little bit of it.
We need to change the conversation. And that's why I'm launching a new podcast. And this is going to be anything but the ordinary politician podcast. I'm going to be talking to people directly that I disagree with, as well as people I look up to.
So yeah, that's how it goes. Egg prices, tariffs, Doge. We're tackling all your big questions, he added, noting in the video that he planned to speak with some of the biggest leaders and architects in the MAGA movement. Barstool Sports founder David Portnoy was one of the many other social media and others on social media who pointed out that the governor already had the job to do rather than talk on a podcast to fix his reputation. This is how it looks. This is what I'm talking about. Democrats are the party of themselves first at the expense of the American people. And I want to cut in a short clip before I continue talking about how bad this makes Gavin Newsom look. And it kind of adds fuel to the fire that Stephen A. Smith has been talking about how the Democratic Party don't have anybody. Like, if Gavin Newsom ran for president right now, he will lose. Kamala Harris is still the front runner for the Democratic Party. Yes, you heard that correctly. Kamala Harris, who wasted $1.2 billion, who put her campaign $20 million in debt. She's the number one reason why Democratic mega donors don't want to donate to the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party don't want to take accountability for squandering that money. She's still the front runner for 2028 for the Democratic Party. Yeah, Democrats are over. They're like mind-boggling decisions here by the Democratic Party. But, I digress. Here's some of the sentiments that I found. This is a problem for the Democratic Party that they will need to address. Check out this clip of this guy pretty much lambasting the Democratic Party for voting against everything that's in the interest of the American people just to spite Trump. Let's take a look.
So I'm just going to say this. Anytime you hear Democrats say that they're the party of the working class, they a goddamn lie. Every Democrat in the House just voted against no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. They hate Donald Trump so bad that they won't give the American people a win. So in 2026, when you go to the poll, remember this. Remember this. They don't give a damn about you. Those is trying to save y'all money, guess what? They protesting it. In New York, they got congestion prices. So they're trying to fight the federal government to charge you to travel on public roads. They don't give a damn about the middle class. They really don't. So Democrats, when you don't got to pay no taxes on tip and you ain't got to pay no taxes on overtime, you better make sure you get on your knees when you thank Donald Trump. Because the same party you represent is full of shit, and they showed us tonight.
To say the Democratic Party has an image problem is an understatement, right? The party of democracy, right? Oh, we believe that we're holding with democracy, the will of the people, right? I have a clip for you for Korean Jean-Pierre. I was going to make it a separate clip, but I think it goes into what we're discussing now. And she's talking about how the fallout from the debate, it was like a firing squad. This is her words, not mine. Let's take a look at what she had to say.
Personally, I think what was the toughest thing to see in the 3 weeks was there was a disconnect for me. What was happening with leadership in the Democratic Party and how it was truly, as my former colleague, communications director Ben LeBolt said, it was a firing squad. And I had never seen anything like it before. I'd never seen a party do that in the way that they did. And it was hurtful and sad to see that happening. A firing squad around a person who I believe was a true patriot, a person who I believe did everything that he can for this country, a person who I believe, as I mentioned before, has done more in one term than most presidents had done in 2 terms, historical things. And I was shocked by what I was seeing.
And Karine, just to clarify, these are other Democrats and Democratic leadership coming out against Biden.
Yep, I had never seen anything like that. That was, if you're asking me, the thing that I saw in those 3 weeks, that was shocking. Shocking. And instead of coming together to really be unified and trying to figure out how do we save our democracy, how do we fight back, that's what I was seeing. And, that's what we decided to do for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're right. Joe Biden did do some historical things, for highest inflation rate in 40 years, spent more money than Donald Trump, and even though he didn't have to deal with COVID, right? In the middle of his re-election campaign, he got ousted by his own party. Yeah, there was a lot of history being made under Joe Biden, but I don't think the kind that she think it is, right? And this is just one of the major failings of the Democratic Party. Another conservative host added, the more I think about the angrier I get. A governor shouldn't need a podcast to communicate with his constituents. This is literally your job every day. If you need a podcast, you're failing. Spoiler alert, you're failing. Several others suggested that Newsom should try governing California first, especially while the state faced problems like rebuilding after a wildfire in Los Angeles, the rising crime, and homelessness amid massive exodus from people leaving the state for a better life. Gavin Newsom, image problem. This is what we're talking about. Democrats, y'all image is in the toilet right now. You have a lower favorability rating than the Republicans. But y'all sitting here prancing around, Hakeem Jeffries and y'all, acting like the American people's behind you. And it looks like y'all need another thrashing. 2026 is not in your favor. It's not projected to be in your favor. And y'all not doing anything, no self-reflection. It seems like y'all just doubling, tripling down, praying that Trump makes a mistake. And even if Trump does make some mistakes, like what he did with the Epstein file stuff that I'm going to talk about later today, it still is not a winning strategy. And Stephen A. Smith, as much as I disagree with him on some of his sentiments, because I think, he's giving the Democrats a little bit too much credit. he's right about the fact that he's in the conversation. I think Jonathan Stewart is also in the conversation of possibly running as the Democratic nominee. Make that make sense. A comedian and a sports analyst has a better chance of being the front runner for the Democratic Party than Kamala Harris. Make it make sense. Oh, sorry, my bad. Kamala Harris is the front runner currently, and she already lost an election. It wasn't even close. At least Trump, what he used to justify running in 2024, he barely lost. Like, y'all barely beat Donald Trump in 2020. But a win's a win, right? But Trump had the argument, hey, look, I was one state away of winning the election. What Kamala Harris' excuse is? She got swept. Seven swing states? You lost all 7 swing states, Kamala? You didn't win not one? You lost all 7. And she's the front runner for the Democratic Party. Image problem, I'm telling you. Y'all shot down Joe Biden, right? You saw Karine Jean-Pierre. She said she's never seen something like that. Karine Jean-Pierre finally felt what it's like to be a conservative on the attack of Democrats. Surprise. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Just to squander $1 billion, put yourself $20 million in debt, put your party $20 million in debt, and to get swept in the election, in the electoral college, and be the first Democrat in 40 years, I think, to lose the popular vote. Yeah, y'all made a lot of history. I'll give y'all that. Democrats made a lot of history in 2024. But I digress. Let's get into some of Stephen A. Smith's commentary.
And this is the part that I really, really want to get to show how pathetic of a state of affairs things are right now. I have no business being ahead of Josh Shapiro. I have no business being ahead of Wes Moore. I love both of those guys. I think those guys would be outstanding in their own right. I don't think that there's anybody else out on that list and beyond that has any legitimate case to make for themselves at this particular moment in time for the Democratic Party. I think any voice that has been national has been diluted because of the Trump romp, and I don't want to hear about a 1.5% victory in the election. The man won every swing state. He won about 50 counties, okay? He went up in the black vote, went up in the Latino vote, went up with young voters, okay? There's nothing to say. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral college vote. I don't want to hear anything from the national voices, okay? All the national voices that was out there, and I'm including Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, in that mix, because he showed up on your show on this channel and debated Ron DeSantis. So he tried to be a national voice. No, I don't put any of them up there right now. And my last comment would
and he's doing himself a massive disservice with what he's trying to do with the podcast. People are like, yo, you're already supposed to be doing this. You have enough national name recognition that you can go on any podcast you want. Why do you need to start your own ish to save your own reputation? And this is what I'm talking about. I'm glad, I'm happy. The American people are being more skeptical of both parties, if you want to make that. I'm being skeptical right now of the Republican Party. The fact of the whole Epstein stuff, I'll get into it in another video, I promise. But when I see a mistake, when I see things that I don't align with, because I don't side with right or left. That's a big misconception. A lot of my detractors, a lot of like liberals who happen to come across my channel and leave negative comments, that's the perception they like to cast on them because they think I'm like them. My thing is, I side with who's right. If you're right on something, if I believe you're right on something, I'm on your side. I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith 100%, but I believe he's right on this. Hey, Democrats, y'all need to change our strategy. Hey, Democrats, you need to be more on the center. At least I'm being honest. I don't think it's a good play to be more far leftist. The far left may like you to be blindly opposed to Donald Trump, as you saw from my first video of the day. But many people in the middle, many people just want stuff to get done. We just want problems to be fixed. And that kind of strategy, being blindly against someone based on just politics, is not a fruitful or productive approach to solving problems. And I think that's what the American people actually want.
Would be this. I think the fact that I am a candidate for the presidency of the United States of America, according to the polling for the Democratic Party, is the most clear-cut evidence of how pathetic of a state of affairs that exists within the Democratic Party today. I have no business being on that list whatsoever. I am not qualified, but it just shows how pathetic things are at this particular moment in time.
I got to go deeper in the paint. I'll use the sports analogy with you.
Sure.
Okay. If asked, if drafted, if begged, the answer under all circumstances is a firm no, you're not doing it. Yes or no?
at this moment in time because I want my pockets to get
qualifiers.
significantly deeper.
No.
I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question right now. Right now, the answer would be no. 3 years from now, if my pockets are significantly deeper and the country is in a dire state of
you sound like a politician.
3 years from now, if the country is in
That's
a dire
a political
state of
answer.
Stephen A. trying to get his money up. He ain't trying to be no politics. But yo, Democrats, y'all got issues. I'm saying y'all got issues. I know Republicans got issues. I know conservatives right now. There's a little internal war. I'm debating whether I should make a live stream about it or just do a separate video on it. But yeah, Democrats, y'all got problems. Like, and this is the funny part. I remember when when conservatives were going through their little drama with Steven Crowder, Candace Owens, a lot of this infighting. And I promised after the Candace Owens stuff, I promised myself I'll never cover drama again on the conservative movement. But there's certain things that's been coming out lately that I feel like I want to speak about, especially with the Andrew Tate stuff, that some conservatives are using Andrew Tate like a purity test. Like it all started with Benny Johnson having him on the show. And it started this whole movement where these people who try to make the woke right a thing are literally trying to use Andrew Tate like some type of purity test. Oh, if you start with Andrew Tate, you're not really a conservative. But the Ashley St. Clair stuff, y'all congratulating her for being a single mother, having a baby out of wedlock, and you're projecting like, oh, supporting her as conservative. But if you agree with Andrew Tate, if you agree that Andrew Tate shouldn't be banned from Florida because you disagree with his takes on Gaza and all this other stuff, like this is the disconnect that I'm seeing with the conservative movement. And I already know half of the Republicans are people's best interests, half of the Republicans aren't. It's the same thing with the conservative influencer movement. And I think the Epstein file stuff really showed that to me. I feel like there's an in crowd in the conservative movement, and if you're not a part of it, you don't get the access, you don't get the radio hits. I feel like there's a little cabal going on, but that's politics in general, right? Who you associate with is your path to power. And it seemed like there's these alliances being formed on the right that I'm noticing. And it all started with the woke right stuff. You got the James Lindsay, the what's his name? I forgot his name. The Kazakhstan, I forgot his name. I always mess up his name. They're trying to label like Tucker Carlson woke right, Candace Owens woke white. Everyone they try to play this little identity politics game, and it gives me the same feeling about DEI. And you guys know me, like I don't trust people when they try to feign morality. I feel like many people use morality as a cover to hide their own personal interest. That's how I feel about a lot of things. But I digress. You get more of my thoughts on that video. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think about Stephen A. Smith's commentary? Do you think he's on the nose? Do you think that the Democratic Party can ever recover from their image issues, their messaging problems before the midterm elections? I don't think so, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on that subject in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. Share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.